Welcome. Thank you everyone for taking the time to watch this video. I'm fortunate enough to be joined by not one, but two data leaders from CLUEDIN customer NORDEN. So Ajay and Andreas, thank you very much for agreeing to speak to us today. I'd like to kick off with the first question. What would you say are the main challenges faced by data leaders today, and how has that changed in recent years?
I think if you have a look at the role of a data leader, I think that has changed and evolved over time. What earlier was kind of more ad hoc approaching data is today a necessity. So that is expected from internal and external customers. So I think that is maybe the biggest change as I see it.
Yeah, and just adding on to it, right? So it's in these days, data is more considered as not just a ad hoc or a solution to a problem. It's more like a potential. There is more things that can be done with the data in terms of predictive analysis, forecasting, and so on. So it's not just how it used to happen back in olden days, where there is some bad data or some duplicates that needs to be cleared out. So the situation has gone much beyond that, and I would say it has gone in a good direction, where it has created more possibilities for what can be done with data. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. And I think you're right, and that completely resonates. Data is seen as a much more strategic asset with lots of opportunity associated with it, but also, of course, challenges as well. Can you tell us about how you're tackling some of those challenges around data at NORDEN?
Yeah, well, in NORDEN, we have challenges, or I would say opportunities, in terms of what is the best way to operate a vessel, what is the best way to have good fuel efficiencies, and so on. So in order to tackle these kind of issues, right now we are drawing data from a lot of external systems, and those systems are the ones which gives us information in terms of what is the best optimal way to operate a vessel, and what is the right speed that we should be sailing at to have the best fuel efficiency. So these kind of informations are not just in-house, but we are gathering this information from external systems, and that comes in the form of a lot of unstructured data. And that is what we are doing here, where we are like collecting the data from different systems and producing the results that we want to counter these challenges.
So to add on that one, so that is the more technical approach, but we also need to balance the, let's say, organizational level. The need for accuracy of data, the need to govern it, that comes with time. But then we have the need for speed, the time to market to deliver the data. So we try to do it in a hybrid model to balance these two often conflicting requirements.
Great, thank you. And I guess thinking specifically about the kind of balancing those different priorities, what was it that led you to choose CLUEDIN perhaps over some of the more traditional options available?
Yeah, so when we had the discussions with CLUEDIN, what was very, very nice to see is the overall agile approach. So let's get data to deliver value as soon as possible. So the speed of getting something out of the system, the agile approach of implementing the system. So this good combination, that was one of the key points. And then what also was very, very nice to see, and what I'm really looking forward to get used to and using, is the visualization based on the graph technology. So connecting endpoints, and by that actually giving us new insights and maybe giving us ideas which we haven't seen using traditional ones.
Right. And even when it comes to sourcing data from different systems, we had a lot of enrichment processes that happens during this whole data sourcing and sending it to the downstream to target applications. So that enrichment processes involves a lot of stakeholders, a lot of different people who are in different departments in different roles. CLUEDIN actually enables in bringing them together in a very efficient way and giving the output in the most effective form.
Fantastic, thank you. So looking ahead, can you tell us a little bit about how the use of data will support your longer term vision for the organization?
Data is actually a very essential part in our objectives. We have it, we call it as data as an asset. So there is a huge amount of data out there that needs to be organized and built in a way where data can thrive in all the operation system, in the transactional systems, and so on. So that is very essential to our overall organizational objectives, and we are trying to use CLUEDIN to get there.
To that, so as Ajay mentioned, data as an asset has been one of the key themes for us to use data in our business processes, to use data when we make decisions. Now, CLUEDIN comes into the picture to give us the proper foundation to make sure we can rely on the data, but also to put governance of data into the hands of the data stewards, of the data owners, which then again plays perfectly into the overall theme of data is an asset. It needs to be treated as an asset. So, and that is what CLUEDIN will help us with.
Thank you. And perhaps on a slightly more personal level, because you both have a wealth of experience and expertise in data management, what advice would you give to fellow data leaders in your industry?
Yeah, so I mean, if I think back on projects I've been doing, the biggest change, the biggest challenge, the ones you need to be aware of, you need to focus on, is actually the organization, your business stakeholders, the people being busy every day, the people you want to support. So don't underestimate the organizational change, not just the techie stuff. I think that would be my best advice.
Yeah. Being curious, that's also something I can add on to is the organization should always be curious and always be open in terms of what is the data that they are holding on and what are the potentials of it. So that curiosity in the people can help them to think more, be more imaginative as to what are the other things that a data can do, rather than being in a sort of a siloed situation. So if people are curious enough, if they are open, if there is transparency in the data, then there is a lot that can be done with the organizational data.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure